2, 1. Perfect. Welcome back to Lady on the Street podcast. My name's Priscilla. You probably know that if you've been watching, but if you don't, it's Priscilla. I'm here. Today we do have somebody that I'm super excited. I love doing episodes where I just don't know them, you know? It's our first time meeting because I feel like there's so much to learn and we got to cram it all into an hour. So today's guest is someone who I have discovered is the game day guru. That's what I'm going to call you. From sequins to rhinestones to Crocs and socks. If you have a team you want to rep, she's your girl for all your game day needs. And trust me, all her stuff is definitely super cute. Everything you're going to want to wear. So she's one of many people who are running a local business in San Antonio, but she's the only Kaliana's boutique around. Natalia, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So we were quickly talking about it a minute ago, right?
Yes.
When you met me at my door, you're like, Natalie. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it's Natalia.
Yeah. Yes, it's Natalia. Everyone, I was telling her, everyone called me Natalie growing up. Everyone, like, even my parents, they would.
You're like, why'd you name me Natalia?
I know. I was like, and I tell my husband today, I'm like, my name's so beautiful. How come no one said it?
Oh, I love that. So you're embracing your name, Natalia.
Yes.
I love it. What are we drinking, Natalia?
Margaritas.
I feel like I love a margarita.
And they're so good.
Yeah. Made by yours truly. Cheers.
Cheers.
I like them strong. I like my margaritas like I like my men. Or my man. I only have one man. Strong.
He comes back. What did you say?
I know. He's like, men. Okay, so you're a boutique owner here. Can we just get the easy breezy stuff out of the way? Tell me how old you are.
I'm 28.
28?
Yes.
Okay. You do look super, super young, so
do I look younger than 28?
I think you do. I really think you do. Yeah.
Okay, I just asked the customer, because me and my husband were just talking about that, about a week ago.
Uh-huh.
We were like, I wonder how old we look to people.
Yeah.
So a customer came the other day, and I was like, I have a question. How old do we look?
Yeah.
They were like, y'all look like y'all are 23, 24.
Okay, I was like 23 is what I was thinking. Yeah. 28, cool. I love it. Okay, so Kaliana's Boutique, tell me when you started, the name, all of that stuff.
So Kaliana's Boutique started when COVID happened.
Okay.
2021. Me and my husband, no one was working. Oh, I was working from home, but it was COVID, the pandemic, and we just had our daughter, Kaliana. Mm-hmm. And we were just we were living in an apartment at the time, and I was telling him, we're just there, and I was like, we need to make more money. Like, we're barely making it in today's, we're struggling.
Yeah.
I was like, we need to start making, another source of income. Mm-hmm. And we've been talking about it for, a year. Like, how can we make money? How can we make money? And funny story that actually maybe only, a couple customers know. Maybe, 5 in our family.
Yeah. But
we started off with pillows.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You really changed from that.
Yes, we started off with pillows, and it was called bobbin hood stitching.
Okay.
My husband was the one with the sewing machine. I didn't know anything.
Really?
Yes. So, and apparently there's something on the sewing machine that's called bobbin.
Bobbin? Okay.
And so we called it Bobbin Hood Stitching Company.
I love that.
That's how we started off.
That's crazy.
And we sold pillows to a couple customers, but I didn't know how to do it. He was trying to teach me, but I did not have the patience.
Yeah, sewing is hard.
Yes.
Especially if I assume it was all about the stitch and the design. I'm
yes.
I can barely do I'm like, sorry, babe, you got a hole. Too bad.
Yeah, so I'm like, so I felt bad because it was just him, and we started getting more customers, and I was like, and he was getting tired. I could tell he was getting tired of doing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the thing that was trending at the time was Croc Charms.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? I see Croc Charms, I see them at the Croc store. but they're the generic ones.
Yes.
Like footballs, softballs, like stuff generic Croc Charms. So what we did was we started drawing on our iPad, creating logos, designs, sending them to vendors, and that's how we started with the
Yeah.
Croc Charms.
That's crazy. So, are you very artistic then?
Yes, I am. I
Yeah.
love designing.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. So, not to sidebar too much, but the pillow thing just reminds me of something. Do you watch Bravo at all?
I don't.
No?
No.
Okay, well, there's a show on Bravo called Southern Charm, and one of the guys on there has a pillow company called, I think it's like Sewing Down South is what it's his so it just reminded me. I'm like, these men with their sewing machines,
know,
like
I
you
was
would
like-
who would have never you would have never thought, but it's 2024.
It's crazy because people are like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "It's not even me."
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so do you remember what the first Croc Charm was that you designed?
I gotta say the the ones that were popping, like everyone loved, was we would buy charms, like actual metal charms, pendants, and we would take off the loops and glue the Croc Charms on the back of them, and everyone was obsessed with our metal charms.
Yeah, like a little bedazzle.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then the second one I would say are hot Cheetos, but we put on them Cheetos are life.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Yes.
I probably, so I don't have any Crocs, but like if I did, a hot Cheeto charm would be on it.
That's how I am. I'm like hot Cheetos margarita.
Yeah. Yeah. And a Chinese candy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is good to know. I guess how long were you guys with the pillow portion of it before you kind of like do you still offer pillows, I guess?
No, we don't, and we still have a sewing machine and all the fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there, but we don't do pillows no more. We were honestly thinking about he wanted to do them for like I guess he wanted to do like 2 of them. I was like, well, if you're gonna do them, let's put them in our shop. It could add to it.
Yeah.
But no, he hasn't done it. And I say when we did do it, it was a good 5-6 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of work for sure.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we go to friends or family's houses, and they still have the pillow right here. We're like, look, that's our pillow.
She's like, we made these actually.
Yeah.
No, that's cute. I love that. So they're hanging on to it a little bit.
Yes.
Well, okay, so you went from pillows to Croc Charms. What I saw when I went and looked at a lot of your stuff, it's definitely like catered to schools, alma maters, that kind of thing. Where did that idea come from? I saw you're a graduate of Temusa.
Yes.
Okay.
So growing up, we were a sport family. Like my brothers played baseball, basketball, football, and I played softball. And my dad was into sports. Our whole family was a sports family. My cousins, like everyone played. So we were always watching sports, always going to games. If I wasn't playing, my brothers weren't playing, we were watching someone else play. If we were at home, we're watching like softball on TV. And I've always been into like drawing.
Yeah.
And I knew in my head like what I wanted my boutique to become, but I knew I was gonna have to like take steps to get there. So yeah, I've always been into drawing, and our family's full into sports. Even right now, like my husband, full Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh yeah.
So
he's one of those.
Yes, he is. He's like the Super Bowl.
He's like, we lost. I'm like, you weren't there, honey.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, he's like obsessed with them, but yeah. So and then when I graduated, I became a select softball coach, so like a travel softball coach.
Oh, cool. Okay.
For 12U, so it was like 11, 12-year-old girls, and it was a lot of traveling. But I was in charge of like seeing what shirts we could design and all that, and that's where it started.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, oh look, what if we do this, or put this on this sleeve, or choose this material, so our sweat, and
yeah,
that's where it started. And then people would be like, can you design something for my daughter's team? And then we started doing pop-ups like with a little bit of stuff, and then people would ask for
Yeah.
UTSA, Texas State, Texas A&M San Antonio. So now it's like where I wanted it
Yeah.
to be.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So 2021, about 3 years it's taken to really get what you
Yes.
wanted it to become.
Yes.
That's actually not that long. I mean, I know it probably feels like it's
Mhm.
a long time, but 3 years isn't that long for your business to really flourish, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it feels long.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like the amount of work that you put into it and everything. So a lot of the things that you have, I mean, they're very like glitzy, glamorous, and like for sporting events,
Mhm.
I suppose. But the sequin things that you have, right? You have a lot of sequin things.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I am just so curious. Like, how are you guys creating those by hand or
We designed them all,
mm-hmm.
and we have
a vendor?
we
You
have
said.
yes, we have a vendor that does all our items
Mm-hmm.
by hand.
Okay. Yeah.
So we design it on the iPad, send it to them, and they design it all. They create them all by hand. Um, we tried it. Some Every time we try it, we always mess up.
Yeah.
But my grandma, she hand beads.
Yeah.
So like the headbands,
The headbands,
but
or you have earrings too,
yes,
right? Yeah.
those we create. Well, I don't create, but my grandma does.
Yes.
But the
Yeah.
sequins, we have a vendor for.
Okay. Well, even the design of it and stuff, I'm sure it's very challenging to set yourself apart from things that are already out there, you know?
Yes.
Because I do feel like one of the things that I've learned in the last couple of years is that, or that I've just seen even from my own social media, is that the boutique industry is just so saturated now,
Mhm.
right? Like everybody has, I mean, not everybody, but there are a lot of people who have boutiques.
Right.
So how has that been challenging to kind of like set yourself apart from everyone else that's out there doing similar, not the
Mhm.
same, but similar?
So we were just talking about this because our name is Kaliana's Boutique,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't hold that many clothing items.
Right.
We hold like a little bit of clothing, but they're clothing that like they're out there.
Yes. Like the
So
sequin spurs
yes,
dress, right?
like
Yes.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
then a lot of our items are accessories,
Mm-hmm.
but like we said, handmade accessories, and they're all designed, so you won't be able to find these pieces anywhere else because I know I created them.
Yeah.
And it's tough, like you said, because I just created. I don't know if you saw it, but it's a sequence top, and it says "Birds Up."
Yes, I did.
So
Mm-hmm.
that one, it took me like usually I could create a design with drawings within 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
That one took me about a week because I did it like 5 different times. I was like, something's not right.
Yeah.
And I
Uh-huh.
sent it to my family group chat, and I was like, what do I do different? And my dad's the one who said, what if you put birds up big in the front?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that sounds good.
Yes. No, I did see, and I saw you posted like your rendering actually of what
Yes.
you wanted it to look like. That's so cool. You must be obviously creative because hand designing is not
Thank
easy,
you.
you know?
Yes.
So you talked a little bit about growing up. You were really into sports. Can I ask, are you from San Antonio?
Yes, born and raised.
I love that. So where did you play sports at? Like which school did you go to?
I so I grew up in Leon Valley. I'm still
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Well, I moved back there. I went to Marshall High School.
Okay.
Um, I played softball there. I was a 4-year letterman,
Love it.
and then I went off to college to play softball. I
Mhm.
did one semester at New Mexico Highlands University,
Cool.
and then I went to Concordia in Austin.
Okay.
And then that's when I did about 2 years there, and then I was on track to graduate early,
Mhm.
so I went to Texas A&M San Antonio and finished out there. And sadly, they didn't have softball at the time,
Yeah.
so I didn't get to play anymore. But
Mhm.
now they have it. I'm like, oh, I wish I was their coach.
Yeah, yeah. What did you? It's funny. It always happens after you,
I
right?
know it was like right after. I was like, I told because I have like a year left of eligibility.
Yes.
I told my husband I'm gonna go back for my master's and play. He's
Just
like,
like
they're gonna say, what is this 30-year-old doing?
oh, so I was dress shopping for our thing later this year.
Yes.
And it's prom season, and all the young girls are
Oh.
trying on their prom dresses, and here comes this almost 35-year-old walking out. They're probably like, "What is this chick doing here? Like, get out of here, grandma!" You know?
They're like, "Are you going to prom?"
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I felt
That's
so awkward. I
funny.
was like, we should come back another weekend.
That's true. I forgot it is prom season.
hmm So what did you? I like getting all in your business, right? Because I was trying
No,
to get
you're
to
fine.
learn a little bit about you, but
I was thinking that when I was coming, I was like, she doesn't even know me. Like, are we gonna meet before?
I know. No, I mean, I'm
But
just
this is
asking you
fun.
questions. So like I was going through your social. I saw that did you major in science?
Yes, kinesiology. So
Kinesiology.
sports.
Okay, so sports. Now it
Yes.
makes sense because I was like, science and a boutique. Like, what is?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so yes, Tamusa, like I said, they were brand new, so
Mhm.
they didn't have that many majors.
Mhm.
Um, at Concordia, I was doing accounting and kinesiology was my minor.
Mm.
But when I moved to Tamusa, they didn't have accounting because it was so new.
Mhm.
So I switched them and I did kinesiology as my major.
So you could go back and teach, be a coach somewhere if you
Yes, that's
wanted
why
to.
I was
Yeah.
like, I want to be the
Yeah.
coach because
Yeah.
that originally was like my dream, like to be a softball coach,
Yeah.
like in
I
high school
love
or
that.
college.
It's crazy because whenever you're in high school and you're in sports, athletics, whichever it is, right? Dance, cheer, band, those instructors make such an impact
They
on you. You
do.
know, the coaches, like they leave a lasting impression. And I feel like if you're gonna, I mean, teachers are obviously amazing too, but
Mhm.
like I don't feel like the coaches get enough credit because they do make a really huge impact on the
Mhm.
upbringing of young kids, you know?
They do. That's
Yeah.
why I told my husband I was like the only downside because I remember my coach. She was there for like practice at 6 a.m. and then we didn't leave school till like
Yeah.
7 a.m. and
hmm
during season those are long days.
Long days, yeah. I guess that's the trade-off, right? Well, if you're a coach, you don't actually even get your summers off most of the time you're practicing and stuff,
Right.
right? Yeah. God bless them. They're doing the Lord's work. I love that you love the margarita, by the way.
I know it's so
Okay, so what's been your overall like experience just starting a small business in San Antonio specifically?
So it's been fun. San Antonio shows a lot of love for
Mhm.
their small businesses. And I didn't realize it until because we travel a little bit, not a lot, but we take little vacations like Colorado, New York, and it's
Mhm.
been fun.
Yeah.
And I never noticed until I went to. It's crazy because I just went to Houston and it's still in Texas, and I didn't notice until this trip how San Antonio's so cultured.
Yes.
I didn't
Uh-huh.
realize, like, I was like telling my husband, I was like, we went to Colorado and came back, and New York and came back. But the minute we went to Houston, I was like, dang, San Antonio's so, like, Mexican.
It really is. Houston has so many different. They have like their own little Asian like
They do.
area.
They have their, I was going to say, when we were there, the Uber driver was like, yeah, we're kind of like in sections. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think we went to Houston last spring break and I had that same like aha moment where I was like, where are we? Like San Antonio is so
Yes, it
it's
is.
very Hispanic
It's
here, very
crazy. We talk
Mexican.
about it. We're
Yeah.
like, it's crazy that it took us to come to Houston to notice it.
Yeah, you're like I've gone to other states
Yeah.
and yeah. No, that's fun. It's like you got to love it, but like I mean, I don't know. There's no other like flip side to that. Like I really do love San Antonio.
Yes,
There's
me
nothing like
too.
it.
We were talking about maybe like a couple years ago, maybe like about 3 years ago, we're talking about moving out of San Antonio, but we're like, there's no way. There's no way we could do it because especially with our family, like we need help with the girls. They're all
Mhm.
here. If we move far away, we're not gonna have nobody.
Yeah, I have friends that have done that, and I just don't know how they get by. Like when I had one, because there's a big age gap in between our kids. So when I had one, I'm like, okay, that's okay, that's doable.
Hmm.
But three, I'm like, no, no, I need my family's help. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how people do that.
That's how, because even because we do the pop up markets.
Yeah.
So like this weekend, well, this weekend we're in the wedding, but Sunday we have Matlock and Tera,
Okay.
and we're like, who's gonna watch the girls?
Yeah.
And it's our parents all the time. But if we were to do this somewhere else, we wouldn't have. We would like be like one watch the girls and one goes to the market.
Yeah. Do they? Well, I guess they're like not at the age where they really want to go with y'all, right? Like, cause to
They
sit there.
they do like they're excited because we've taken them a couple times, but about 10 minutes in, they're like complaining they're ready to go.
Did you happen to do? Were you at the carnival last
I
year?
was.
Okay, I feel like I came by your little
I was.
tent area. I don't know
I
why.
was by the main stage.
It I don't know. We always go to Cornyville. We love it there because it's like
I always went to growing up.
yeah.
Like, because I went to Marshall, so I'm not too far.
Yeah.
Me and my friends would go, and it's crazy because I tell people about the Cornyville, and they're like, "You mean the carnival?"
You're like, no.
I'm like, "No, it's corny."
It's corny, like literally.
Yeah, they're like, "I never heard of that." I'm like, and then I explain everything. I'm like, Helotes, but in Spanish.
Yeah. You're like, because we're in San Antonio and it's so Hispanic here.
I am. I have to explain it all the time. Even my
Yeah.
husband, he didn't know
No.
until last year was the first time we actually vended in it.
Yes.
But I always went as like a guest.
Yeah.
And my husband was like, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
And
Well, so I don't think we did either growing up. It wasn't until we lived out on Braun and we were trying to like drive somewhere one year and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, we're like right down the street from this. So then it became
Braun's right there.
Yeah, it became like an annual tradition, but I don't know what triggered in my brain right now, but I'm like, you look familiar, I guess. And then the name, I'm like, let me just ask. So that's funny. I do
Yes.
remember. I think I did stop by your what do you even call it? Your booth. She's like,
I'm like, I
come
don't
on.
know.
Your
I don't know.
booth. Yes. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, it is.
And so
I'll be there again this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and you said you're going to be at Lock and Tera this weekend.
Yes.
How often do you go to these market pop-ups?
Lock and Tera, we do once a month with Wish Market. They host one Saturday a month.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also another group that does them at Lock and Tera. However, they only do holiday themed markets. So this weekend is a St. Patrick's theme.
Oh, okay.
And then they only have and the good thing about this one is they host it Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'll be there both days.
Both days?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. So we both have kids, and we're talking about school and college, and I graduated from UTSA, so that Birds Up design is like all for me. So
thank you. I know. I was telling my husband, I was like, I want to bring her something, but I don't know her.
Oh,
so I didn't know
don't
what
even
I didn't
worry.
know what you would like. No,
Yeah.
but I want to give you something. But I was like, okay, after this, I'll be like, okay, I know.
Yeah, I know her now. No. Well, so I was just wondering, and you can tell me if you're not comfortable asking, but you've got little girls. Is college important to you that they go?
So me and my husband talk about this all the time
Mhm.
because my parents were pushing it on me and my brothers.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. And honestly, I'm glad they did because I'm glad I did it.
Right.
I'm glad I could say I have a bachelor's degree. Not
Yeah.
many people could say that. My husband and me, we both like discussed it and we decided that we're gonna push it on them. However, or no, we're gonna push it on them and we're gonna make them try it.
Yes.
So, and then if it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, then let it be.
Life happens.
But they tried it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I think it's super important to us. And the funny thing is that, did your husband go to college?
No.
Okay, so it's the same with us. So I graduated. My husband didn't.
Mhm.
And partly because when we had our when we had our oldest daughter, so our first child, he was working and like basically I was in school, So
Right.
there was really no time, no place for him to he was working, and I am so grateful that, he did that.
Yes.
But now she's 14 and she's like, well, daddy didn't go to college and daddy's successful. And I'm like, That's true, but it doesn't work out like that for everyone.
You're telling me what I'm gonna look forward to.
I know, yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so she tells me now, and I'm like, but Bailey, you've got to like try, so
Yeah.
I think it's important for us that like we try and get her there, and if for some reason there's something greater, I think we're on the same page where we're like,
Right.
okay, maybe it doesn't work out for everyone,
Mhm.
Yeah, so she throws it in our face now.
That's how we're gonna be. We're gonna be like, no, like you need to try it and see how it works out.
Yeah.
But we're always talking about that. Like, I wonder what she's gonna say when she grows up. Like, what kind of parents we are. Like, oh, my parents are cool, or my
Yeah,
parents.
I know. I always am like gauging her too. I'm like, so like, what do you, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, do you think we're nice? Do you think we're strict? Do you think she's probably like, stop talking to me?
She's like, get away.
Yeah,
Get away.
yeah. I'm like, if I could only peek into her conversations, like especially because she's a teen, so like sometimes we butt heads. It's
Mhm.
inevitable. And so I'm like, if I could just hear the moment she goes upstairs and like
What
she
she
starts
thinks.
venting, I'm like, what are you saying about us?
That's funny. Do y'all act the same?
Yes. So like I see that certain things that I do or say, I'll hear her like
Say
do the
it.
same
Yeah.
thing, and I'm like, that doesn't sound nice, and I'm like, Bailey, and she's like, use, and I'm like, I'm the mom here.
That's how I am. My daughter says something, and I'm like, what do I say? Like she's
She learned
right.
it from
Yeah.
She's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and I'm like, so really what's happening with me is that she's like, I'm doing a lot of self-reflecting whenever she
Mhm.
like does certain things, and I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have done
That's
that,
how I am. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, because she'll say something, and I'll be like, oh, I did say that.
Yeah. That's so funny. And I also always wonder too, like, well, because uh, I'm in my 30s, I'll be 35. My mom had me when she was 30. So, like, my younger kids are, at the same, like, length of time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? The same
Mhm.
age gap between my mom and me, I am with them.
Yes.
And so I always just wonder, like, how was my mom as a younger mom with my older siblings versus how she was with me? Because with me, she was pretty strict.
Mhm.
But my siblings swear that she had gotten,
Are
like,
they
more lenient.
brothers or?
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Oh, okay.
So my sister, who's older, she's like, no way, you had it so easy. Like, you were the baby. They were already, like, strict with us. And then by the time you came, they were like...
Yeah.
So I always just, like, go back and wonder. And I do see a lot of, like, my parenting characteristics are from my mom.
Yes.
Do you have that same thing?
Yes, and it's only 3 of us. Me, my 2 older brothers,
Oh, yeah.
and they're twins. But they're boys, and my mom's real Mexican culture.
Uh-huh.
So I'm the only girl and the youngest, so it was like double strict.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do anything, but like I catch myself saying some stuff that she said to me, and I'm like, don't say that because you know how you felt.
Yes. Uh-huh. That's so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, no, I always catch myself too, and I'm like, gosh,
Yeah.
Rosie, like Rosie's inside of me,
Yeah, and I like to this day my mom will say stuff, but she doesn't know like she's herself, They like
Mhm.
that's the way they grew up.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna get mad at her for stuff she says, but sometimes I'm like, Mom, did you just say that? Like
Yes. Well, also too, so what's funny is that I know you were saying your mom helps you a lot with your kids.
Mhm.
My mom does as well.
My mother-in-law too.
Your mother-in-law too.
Yes.
I love that. You're so lucky for that as well.
Yes.
But yeah, my mom, like, she gets mad at me because the raising of kids from how she raised us to how I raised,
Mhm.
it's different now, So like,
It
there's
is.
certain things where I'm like, no, I don't want them to eat that, or no, like this, or
Yeah.
And she's like, I gave y'all this, and you're fine,
Mhm.
Do you run into that a lot as well, or no? You let them be.
I let them be at grandma's, but they like my parents. They don't let me. Whenever I need to get mad at them, they're like, "Don't get mad at them." I'm like, they need to be like,
Yeah.
they need to be told something, and
Yeah.
they're like, "No," and that's the only thing I run into where I'm
Yeah.
like, "You used to get so mad at me. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?"
The tables turn.
Yes.
My mom shared something. She shared like this Family Matters video with me the other day. She was bugging me. Did you watch it? Did you watch it? And she sent it through like a Facebook link. So I was like, no, I thought it was spam. Like, I thought you got hacked and were trying to hack me. Yeah. Anyway, it was like grandmas say, what does it say? Parents have to say no, but grandparents can say yes. And so I'm like, what are you trying to tell me here?
You're like, this is what I said not to do.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think, again, family's just like super important. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do without her. We tease her and I'm like, what if I had another one? We can't. But she's like, you're on your own, girl.
That's what I tell my husband. I'm like, we want another one, but we're like, who's going to want to watch 3 kids? We already have 2 and they get like, ugh.
Exactly. I know. We joke too because we have big families. I have 3 siblings and he has 4 siblings. So I'm like, one's going here, one's going there.
That's how I am. He's like, you're going to split them up? I'm like, well, would you want to watch
all
this
3?
many kids?
That's so funny. That is really funny. My sister has 3 kids. And when I was younger, before I even had my own children, we would watch them a lot. So I feel like I got practice there. Because being the youngest, I didn't know anything about having,
Me either.
you know, like raising babies. I didn't know how to change diapers.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know how to change diapers.
Yeah.
My husband, he has 2 younger sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So he said he would like he raised them like changing their diapers and
Yes.
stuff. So he was such a good parent. Like he's a good dad, but
Yeah.
at the beginning, like the first 2 weeks, I was struggling. Like I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "I'll come stay." I'm like, "I need you."
Yes, exactly. No, and we laugh too because my mom also being very like, I feel like it's a culture thing where, or at least, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel because that's how I grew up. My mom did everything for us.
Yeah.
She did everything for us. So like, I didn't know how to do laundry.
Me either.
I didn't
My
really know how
mom-
to cook. Like,
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know anything. Like, and sometimes my husband's like, "And you were the only girl," and I'm like, "Yeah," but she would tell my brothers to do it. She'd be like, Isaiah, y'all go do it. I'm like, yes,
yes, I'm safe.
yeah. But honestly, she didn't let any of us do anything. Like, she did it all.
Yes, I know. I honestly like moms were made differently. I mean, I feel like hopefully one day our daughters will say this about
I
us,
know.
right?
I'm like, right now while you're talking, I'm like, do they think that about me?
Yeah.
Do I do everything?
I know. I'm like, do I? I don't know. No, my husband is super helpful, super hands-on,
Yeah.
like, and sometimes with work, like I just am done for the day, you know,
Mhm.
by the time I get home, and I do feel bad, but like I'm like, well, there's 2 of us, you know, they have him
Yeah.
right now.
And
So,
we're honestly lucky because you can't find any men like that.
no.
Like I always talk about my husband and all my friends. Like they tell me their issues or problems, and
Yeah.
like sometimes I'm like I don't even know how to reply because I
You
don't
can't
go through
relate.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but I'm blessed.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that actually, because that's another thing we were talking about, and I was actually going to ask you. So, remind me again, how long have you been married?
We've been married 4 years, but we're a decade together.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
I love that. So, 4 years, and you're 28, so you got married at 24?
23.
23?
Yes.
I think that's around the same age that we were.
Y'all got married.
Yeah. But so I met my husband at 14. How old were you then when you met him? 18?
I don't remember. We were sophomores, but we were friends.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get together till about 18, 19.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Did you guys like each other? Like, did you always have a thing for him, or?
So it's crazy. We always had a thing for each other.
Mhm.
So we went to separate high schools.
Okay.
But we had we had best friends, and they were together.
Okay.
So we met through them, but we met through them, but we just like were like a little group, like just talk
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mhm.
And we stayed friends. It's crazy. Like we would call each other. Like we always had a thing, but we never said it.
Yeah.
And then after high school, actually it's when I came back from Concordia
Okay.
and was going to Tamusa. That's when we like started talking.
I love that. Okay, so how's marriage been 4 years in?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I hope it stays like
I know,
that.
right?
I don't want to jinx
Not
it.
jinxing it. I know. I feel like so when I got married, I felt like I was so old. Like I was
Mhm.
like, oh, we're so ready. Like
Mhm.
partly because we had already had our daughter and we've
Right.
been
Us
together
too.
forever. But now looking back, like when I see pictures, I'm like, gosh, we were babies. Do
Yeah.
you feel like that as well?
Yes. And it's crazy because I'm like, we got married in November
Mm-hmm.
and it was cold.
Same.
So I
December.
looked back at and our wedding was mainly outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back at pictures and I honestly think, who let me wear this jacket the whole wedding? I'm like, y'all didn't tell me to take it off for these pictures.
Oh,
But I
that's
look back
funny.
at no, but I do look back at pictures and I'm like, oh my god, we were babies and this just feels like years ago. Like
Yes.
doesn't even feel that long ago, and we look so
So,
tiny.
yeah. Well, and what's funny is my husband would tell me before we were getting married, like, I never pressured him. Let's get that
You're
clear,
like,
right?
let me put that out there.
Yeah, I never pressured him, but I would tell him. So we were like 20 when I had Bailey, our first
Mhm.
daughter. And so I would tell him, like, I knew that I wanted to be a wife in life. Like,
Right.
if a wife in life. And so I would tell him, if I turn 30 and you don't, like, we're not married, you don't want to
You're
marry
like, you're
me.
gone.
And I'm like, I don't think I want to be with you. Like, why wouldn't you want to marry me in 10 years? We have a kid together. So maybe I did put a little pressure, but
But you gave him a 10-year.
I gave him a long
10
time. I
years.
was like, I was very lenient, okay? And so I was like, if I turn 30 and you don't want to marry me, like, something's wrong. I'll probably move on, right? Because
Right.
something's off.
Right.
So like he would be like, well, it's not that I don't want to marry you like right now. We're just kids, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, we're not.
Yeah. And now you look back.
Now I look back and I'm like, oh, we were, so he was right. I'll never tell him that, but he was right.
But yeah, but then at the same time, you're like, well, we were gonna be together anyway, so might as well just get married.
Yes,
Might
I
as
know,
well
right?
just
Might as well get married. Well,
But
and
how
now
old were y'all when y'all met?
I was 14 when I met him.
Wow.
14. So like it's very crazy. That was the most this year when my daughter turned 14.
Hmm.
That was harder than me turning 30 because I'm like, I was 14 when I
When you
met
met your
him.
husband.
Yeah, and I'm like, Absolutely not. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're not gonna be
Yeah.
dating anyone right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I feel, and I'm like, the crazy situations that I would get myself into when I was 14, 15, 16, like, my mom would always tell me, like, you just wait. And I'm like, I don't want to wait.
My
Like,
mom
no.
too.
Yeah.
She's like, well, now you got your payback. I'm like, I hope not.
Yeah, I'm like, no, she's going to be sweet,
Yeah.
innocent angel forever.
Yeah, I always talk about that. I'm like, I hope they like feel confident enough to tell me what they're gonna do or
Yes.
anything.
Well, so that's kind of like the relationship that I really try to build. Not that I didn't. So my mom was wonderful, right? But she was scary.
Yeah, that's how I am. So you
And
didn't have that where you could go to her for anything.
no, and
Yeah,
because it was always just like strictly like no. You know what I
mine
mean?
too.
It was very strict, and so it made me, I wanted to do what my friends were doing, so I
Mhm.
would find my ways around it. Whereas now, with a teenager, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to approach it with the mindset of like, I know she's going to do certain things, right?
Mhm.
So like let me open the conversation so that she's comfortable enough to tell me. Because the last thing I would want is for, like, just personally speaking, I in high school I would get into certain situations where they probably weren't the safest, right?
Mhm.
But I was so scared to call my mom,
That's how I was.
and I wish that I wouldn't have been. Like, I wish I would have just called her because I know that she would have shown up, but I was more afraid of like her getting
Mad at
mad at
you.
me,
Yeah.
and I don't want that same, I don't want to
Right.
continue that. Yeah.
That's how I am. I'm like, because I see, for example, I see my mother-in-law
Hmm.
with her daughters, and they could tell her anything and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like if I were to tell my mom that, like she would have lost it. But I'm like trying to build that relationship
Yeah.
with my daughters now that they're young. But at the same time, it's scary because I'm like, am I doing it right? Because I never had that, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think that you never will truly know. Like I never know if I'm doing it right either, you
Right.
know? Um, but I can only hope. And I'm not bashing my mom at all.
I
Like,
know
you
me
know,
either. She's what do you
she's like,
say?
"What are you trying to say?"
I know.
You know, I'm like, "No, my mom was wonderful." And like I said, super supportive. She was really great with me growing up. And I love her and I like
It's like that
obviously.
hard love.
Yes,
Yeah.
a tough love. And like we all parent differently. So like even now that she's here and she watches some of our parenting styles and she'll say like she'll give me advice, you know, on like cuz
Mhm.
I'm like I don't know what to do. Like I don't want to be too hard on her, but I also don't want to let things slide.
Yeah.
But I do make a point to tell my daughter like two things. I say like I'm nice and
Mhm.
I'm cool, but I'm still your mom. Like I'm not your friend, you
Right.
know? So like yes, I am here to hear you out and I can understand and sympathize and all of that, but at the same time, I
I'm
still
your
have to
mom.
parent you,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think that there's like that line that I try to make, that
Mhm.
I try to draw. But yeah, you're not there yet, but in
No.
a couple years, it'll
That's
go by like
scary.
that, let me tell
I
you.
know.
It's crazy. And then even so, like the 3-year-old, my 3-year-old daughter
Mhm.
wants to copy my older daughter now. And I'm like, you're growing up too fast. Stop it,
You're
you know?
like, what? You're 3 going on 13?
Exactly, yeah. So my daughter brings her friends over and the little one's there. She tells the same story every time.
To them.
To them, yeah, she tells the same story of like when we were in San Diego, this bird pooped on my head.
She
And
tells them all
she
the
just
time.
randomly comes, and yeah, we were at the beach and the bird pooped on the seagull pooped on my mom's head. And we're like, again with that story.
They're like, okay, we know it's
Yeah.
coming. Okay, no. That's
She's
funny.
like the drunk Theo with like the
Yeah.
same story, except she's not drunk and she's 3.
That's funny because our daughters, one of them's 3, and she's so funny. Because we don't have a boy, it's
Yeah.
just 2 girls.
Mhm.
We're like, what did Callie? Because our older daughter does cheer. We're
Yeah.
like, Callie, you're gonna do cheer when you get older? She's like, I'm gonna do football. Okay. We're like, okay, whatever you want to do. I was like, okay, do you want to try volleyball? She's like, football and basketball. We're like, okay.
I love
She's so
that.
wild though.
Oh my gosh. Well, so then that goes back to you guys really being a sports family, right? Like,
Yes. We're talking about it. We're like, well, because she's the one that had the little accident with a dog, and
yes.
she like toughed it out. We're like, okay, you could do football. You
Oh,
could do football.
sweet. She's going to be the most fabulous football player on the field, let me tell you.
But I think next year we're gonna put her in cheer
Yeah.
to get her flexible,
Yes.
just to put her in something.
Yeah. No, I sent my oldest one. Well, both of them are in gymnastics right now, but even that, like, sometimes I'm just like, I've talked about this before where it's very hard to not compare to other like moms, but I have mom friends who literally are doing something like with their kids at all hours of the day, right? They have them in soccer, they have them in basketball, they have them in so many extracurricular activities, and I feel like my schedule just does not allow that,
Right.
which sucks. I wish it did. But yes, we were able to put them in gymnastics, and they love it. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, how do these moms do it with games every weekend? And like,
I think about that too. I'm like, how do you do it? Because you have multiple kids,
hmm
so it's like multiple sports.
yes,
It's crazy.
it's crazy. When I grew up in Floresville, and so my mom would drive me like from Floresville to practice in San Antonio back home. And then when my parents split, she was all alone, but she would still make that happen for me. And I'm like, how did she do that? You know, it's just crazy. Um, but yeah, parenting is hard.
That is crazy, right? You think about it and you're like, dang, like my mom went through this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like the sacrifices that parents make, and I'm sure you're familiar with certain things you've had to do as well. Like, damn, it's hard. There's nothing to prepare you though.
And you honestly don't realize it until you're in the position.
Yes.
Because
Uh-huh.
we were talking with my younger sister-in-law one day, and we were talking about, remember you used to say this? She's like, yeah, and I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know it's crazy. Like, you don't realize things until you get older. Like, that's why.
Yeah, the wisdom that comes with just growing up and
Mhm.
then also becoming a parent. Like you just got to learn. Like some of my friends that are older they don't have kids yet and they're expecting,
Mhm.
but before, when they were like, I don't know if I want kids, I don't know if I'm ready, and I'm like, literally, you're never ready,
You
because like there's
aren't.
nothing that can prepare you to, you just have to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could wait and wait and wait, and I feel like that feeling of I'm not ready would never go away unless you
Right.
just
Do
do
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because even after I had my first daughter, like after she was out, I still wasn't ready. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how to change a diaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I always say. You're never ready. It happens.
Yeah.
You gotta
No,
let it happen.
you do. Yeah. No, it's crazy. Well, I'm glad to hear that your marriage is going well. And somebody told me the other day that there's something called the 7-year itch. Have you ever heard of that?
I have, but I don't remember what it is.
So the 7-year itch is apparently, and I'm not trying to scare her. I'm
I
not
know
trying
I'm
to scare her.
I'm
Yeah.
not
No, they say that the seventh year of marriage is like really, and
the rocky
the
one.
rocky one. I hate when one of my pet peeves is like when people say like, they say, it's like, who is saying this? But it's like everybody
Yeah.
is saying this that I've heard recently for some reason. The 7-year mark is like the rocky mark. And if you can get past that in your marriage, then like you're pretty solid. And I was thinking and thinking, and I'm like, at 7 years, like, yeah, honestly, I didn't know at the time,
But now you look
but now I
back.
look back and I'm like, yeah, the 7th year was really hard for us. Because marriage is not always easy. There's a lot
It's
of
not.
compromise. There's like a whole nother person that you got to take
I
into
was gonna say you have
consideration.
to agree on everything.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. So, yeah, look, I was literally thinking about it this morning and I was like, what was our 7th year? And I was like, oh, yeah, that was challenging. So crazy.
Now I'm
But
gonna be on the 7th year and be like, "Well, you ready to get through
I
it?"
know, right? Just jump in together. Just put your jacket on and get through
Yeah.
it. Put your wedding jacket back on.
Because I went to the wedding Saturday. I went to their bridal party,
Uh-huh.
and they asked us um if you could give advice to someone who's not married.
Mhm.
What would you tell them, like how to keep a strong marriage?
Mhm.
And my one thing was, don't make a decision without your husband knowing,
Yeah.
because honestly, that's the me and my husband, we don't really argue.
Yeah.
But when we do argue, it's because after thinking about it, when we do argue, it's because like I told someone something, like, or I already made the
You
decision.
committed to
Yeah,
something, or
and I
yeah.
didn't talk to him about it, or likewise, like he committed to something. And but that was my answer. What would
Yeah.
you say to that?
I think that one of the things, so, and I kind of stole this from somebody, but I feel like it makes so much sense. So, a lot of times when people ask that question, people will write down, never go to sleep angry,
Right.
right? That's like a common answer.
It is.
But for me, I feel like sometimes you do have to go to sleep upset because sometimes you have to wake up the next day with a clear mind and like you got to just table the argument sometimes. If you're agree to disagree, take some time, wake up with a new mind and like approach it that way.
Yes.
I feel like
After rest and all that.
yes,
Yes.
sometimes I feel like the if you're entering a marriage with the mindset of like, oh, we're not supposed to go to sleep angry, like right, that's true, but there are some times where like there's no resolution.
I never heard that. And that's right.
It's true though,
It
right?
is true now that I
I'm
think about it.
Yeah, and I'm like I've gone to sleep times where we're like upset with each other. We don't hate each other. I'm not in love with him, you know what I mean?
Right.
But where we ended on the conversation on a page where we weren't on the same page, and then I
Hmm.
wake up and the next day I'm like, you know what, maybe I could have bent a little bit more, or maybe like I think that it just helps.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Because honestly, I would be like, because if we had a disagreement, I'd be like, we can't go to sleep mad. But honestly, you say the worst things when you're mad.
you do. Yeah.
So it's good because I take that with like work too. Like if something happens at work, I'm like, don't react right now. Like relax, and then you respond later.
You know what's funny is that I am learning this at 34 years old. I'm barely learning this, that I'm impulsive and I'm trying to work on it because even at work, there are things where I'm like, just like,
That's how I am.
and Yeah.
I could like, yeah, I'm like, I'm so sorry I was like
Yeah.
that.
I'm sorry what I said when I was
Yeah.
angry.
I get mad so, like, if I hear something, I get mad so fast, and I don't know why, but I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw on Instagram, but I went through an experience with a
Yes.
market organizer,
Mm-hmm.
and you saying that reminded me because I had a conversation with someone the next day in regarding to that, because it was a lot. Like, everyone had about like 50 other vendors coming up with similar experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a conversation with someone who's been vending for about 10 plus years,
Yeah.
an older woman who knows more than I do, who has experience. And that's what she told me, because I was like, it's so tiring, because like you put your experience out there,
Mm-hmm.
and about 50 other vendors came on and said, hey, I had this experience, thank you for speaking up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're getting a little bit of hate because you spoke on your experience.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, or she was telling me, she was like, I know it's exhausting. You have to tell yourself, do you want to stand up and be tired and keep going because all these vendors are saying they went through it as well?
Mm-hmm.
Or you just gotta like let it go, and because it's gonna be on you for like a while? Or it's just crazy because that's how it is. Like, you put your experience. All I do is put my experience out there,
Yeah.
like you said, and
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden it's like
People
people are
just,
after you.
it's crazy. Like, that's what social media does, is it lets everybody have a voice. So it's both empowering, but also, like the criticism that comes with that. Sometimes I'm just like, dude, take a chill pill. Like,
Right.
you're, while this is a podcast and I express my opinion a lot, right? Like, this is my podcast, and I feel like there are certain avenues where you
Hmm.
can express your opinion and it's fine, but like I'm not going out to your page and criticizing anything. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, when you go out and you're just criticizing on a whim, like you don't even know the person, it has nothing to do with you, that's very different, you
Hmm.
know? Like,
And that's the thing. I was like, like, I don't have anything bad to say about this organizers markets, or anything bad to say about the advertising or anything. It's just an experience,
that they like your experience with how
with
they
them.
handled something with you.
Right. And I told my husband, I
Sorry.
was like, because I told my husband, if he would have just said like something, the way he came off was just so unprofessional.
Yeah.
But if he would have said like, according to our guidelines,
Yeah.
something like that, I would have been like, okay, it's our loss. Like,
Yeah.
but
Uh-huh.
the way he came off, I was like, no.
No, yeah. It's all about your approach. Like, I think that it's, if you're conducting business at the end of the day, no matter how you see it, your customer is like, or the person that you're dealing with
Right.
is the person that you've got to really be. It's a dumb term, but like or a dumb phrase, but the customer's always right, right?
Right.
You got to make it right for them. So like you in this scenario were the customer.
Right.
They were the business that you're conducting business with, and if something didn't work out for them, then they need to figure out how to make it right, even if it is detrimental to what they're doing. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
That's how I feel. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
And it's not like it was like, it's not. You want me to say my experience?
Go, yeah, I'm like, share it.
Okay. You want the tea? I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
give me the tea. Give me
No,
the
because
margaritas.
so we were gonna be in a market, and this was a makeup market because the one we were originally gonna be in got rained out, so this was the makeup date.
Okay.
And we were in the hospital one night because my daughter, I think she was going through. Oh, she had the flu at the time, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when they're babies, you're a mom. So when they're
Yeah.
babies, you know how when they're 3 or little and they have the flu, they can't do nothing.
Right.
They just
Yeah.
tell you, like, oh, they had the flu,
Like you just
Motrin
gotta
and
let it
Tylenol.
pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
So honestly, I didn't want to take her to the doctor. And then it was getting bad where, like, she was coughing all night. So I
Mhm.
think she needed a treatment.
Yeah.
So me and my husband were like, let's take her to the doctor and see what they do. Well, they put her on the nebulizer and they gave her a treatment.
Mhm.
And we got home. super early. I think maybe like 5 in the morning,
Yeah.
and we all went to sleep. And then um, my husband, we all went to sleep, and then my husband and daughter woke up, and they had pink eye.
Oh man.
I was
Yeah.
like, and honestly, I think pink eye was going around because I remember my coworkers had it as well. So I don't know what was going on,
So
but
you gave it to your
I
husband or
know,
your daughter?
right?
I'm
I was
just kidding.
passing it around. I was going around farting. I was good.
Oh, on your all's
I
pillows.
know. Yeah.
Sorry,
So
no,
we
not
were
to make light of it. Sorry.
so we were going through all that, and I was messaging. I think I was messaging him on this person on Instagram, trying to get a hold of them. And I know they're super busy because they're trying to do get ready for the market.
Yeah.
So I messaged other vendors who have his number, and I was like, "Can y'all give me this organizer's number?" And they provided it to me. However, he called me from one of their phones, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey, I wanted to let you know that we're going through the flu, the pink eye, so we're not gonna make it today. But the market itself, I think it was $80 to be in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're not gonna make it today, but if I'm gonna lose out on the $80, let me know and I'll go. Cause out
Yeah.
of my husband and my daughters, they were like sick, but
Yes.
I had a cough, but I wasn't diagnosed
Yeah.
with anything. So I was like, I don't want to lose the money. I'll go myself. I already
Yeah.
have everything packed. Cause usually my husband and I do the markets together.
Together, yes.
So it's tough when it's one of us, but if I'm gonna lose money, I'd rather go on my own.
Yeah.
And he told me on the phone, he was like, if you want to come out, come out. We still have 30 minutes to get ready. Um, but if you don't, we'll work something out. And I said, okay. And so I never heard back from him. A week later, I said, hey, can I do this market for my makeup date? I just messaged him something like that because I've done a couple markets with him. So like usually I'll do it that way, and he'll be like, okay, I got you signed up.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, can I do this as my makeup date? And he told me, that's when he was like, oh, your makeup date was this date. And I was like, you told me on the phone, like, we were going to work it out. Like, if I would have known, I would have gone to that other market. And he was like, I don't believe your daughter was in the hospital.
What?
And I put like LOL because I was like, thinking he's joking, like, because I was like, who says this?
Yeah.
So I was like, I put like LOL, like I was joking with him because I thought he was joking with me, and he was just saying like stuff like that, and I was just like, oh, he's being serious.
Yeah.
And so I started being like to him back. I responded like, are you being serious right now? And he said like, I don't like your tone. And I was like, my tone, like I'm responding because I like at first I'm putting LOL, like thinking you're joking.
Yeah.
And he really thought we weren't sick, we weren't in the hospital, and
Yeah.
just the way he came off, like the way he said, like he told me I don't believe you, and he also, oh, you know what he told me? Now I was thinking about it. He told me, who goes to the hospital to get tested for the flu? Because I told him we were in the hospital all night and my daughter got tested positive for the flu.
Responsible people, responsible parents.
And I was like, when you're a parent and you don't know what's wrong with your daughter, you
Yeah.
go to the hospital so they could tell you and
Yes.
test them and tell you what's wrong. I was like,
Yeah.
she got swabbed for COVID, flu, and I think pneumonia or whatever.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, that's what parents do.
Right.
They go to the
Yes.
hospital.
Because doctors' offices aren't open at all hours of the day. And
Right.
like, yeah.
And I was just like,
The fact that you even had to defend that.
I know. So that's what got me mad. I was like, and like I said, when I get mad, I'm like,
Impulsive.
yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like, look what he's telling me. And my husband was like, don't worry about it. And then I heard someone say that he was gonna sue me for defamation.
What?
And I was like, defamation? Like, I just put my experience. Like, I'm not lying
You
about
can't-
anything.
It's also like if you would have put something on Yelp, I don't think you can be sued.
Right? It's your opinion.
It's your opinion. It's your experience.
But yeah, exactly. I didn't say anything. Like I said, like, I don't have anything bad to say about his market, or people said like his, like, I don't have anything else to say bad about him.
Right.
It's just that one experience, because I've done his markets and
Yeah.
I've conversated with him. My husband's conversated with him. Like we've talked and laughed before, but that interaction, I just feel was so unprofessional.
Yeah. That's yeah.
But it's crazy because when I posted it, I had about 50 other vendors like come forward, like that they were scared to speak up because his market's so big.
Yes.
And I actually had one of them that said they were new to San Antonio and they went through a similar experience with him
Yeah.
and they thought that was all San Antonio market, so they stopped their business.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't know all this was going on.
To
Because,
let one person like ruin the
right.
entire thing for you. No, I think that even yeah, even this like
Mm-hmm.
you being here today, technically, you know, like
Right.
let's just be honest. She was supposed to come a couple weeks ago. What was it? Like a week ago?
Oh, I guess.
Maybe
Yes.
like a week ago. And something happened with your daughter.
Yes.
And I'm like, "Girl, don't even sweat it. Like
Right.
no biggie." And I'm going to be honest. You sent me a picture of her and I was like, "She probably thinks I don't believe her."
Honestly, I didn't because of that
Because of him, and
experience.
I was like, "Oh, I feel bad like that she feels like she has to." But I
Yeah.
understand now because like that guy's fucking whack.
And honestly, like we were me and my husband, like we didn't pay no mind to it. We're just like, oh well, we lost a market organizer. There's plenty others,
Yes.
but the thing that got to me was I have vendor friends or
Mhm.
people that I met through vending who do every market with him,
Yeah.
which I don't mind because
Is
like
it
we're small businesses, we need to make our money,
right?
so I don't mind um like if they do their markets because I understand like I'm also a business owner.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of them that messaged me on his behalf, and I'm just like, yeah, like, so you're telling me you agree with this? And they're like, no, I don't. And I'm like, well, obviously, like you do
Why are
if you're
you
messaging me like, in
like defending him?
yes, like
Mhm.
saying they were saying I was bullying him. And in my defense, I was saying I'm like I made my post, I shared my experience, and that's it.
Yeah.
And but we always talk about it to this day. Like, dang, so they not because I put on there like I responded to them and I said like something like, oh, so you feel like he was in the right to say
Yeah.
that? And they said, no, I'm not defending him, but this bully needs to stop. And then, but we talk about it till this day, and I'm like, not once did I bully him. I just shared
No.
my experience, and the fact that you feel like you have to message me just because you do his markets,
Yeah.
like,
No. I think that like so if you're a business owner in this day and age, you have to know that every interaction that you have with somebody is liable to be put on to the internet. Do you know what I
right,
mean? Like everything's recorded, every text message you send, there is proof in the pudding. So whatever you're putting out into the world, you have to know that if you're not being reasonable or if you're approaching somebody in a certain way, that there is the chance that it's going to wind up on the internet.
right.
That's I mean, I wouldn't call it bullying. Like it's your experience.
And other people were posting because this account made a video about what I went through,
Yeah.
and this account had about 100K followers.
Yeah.
Did you see it or no?
I didn't see that one. No.
But this man made a video about what I went through, and he has like about 150K followers.
Mhm.
So it got out there,
Yeah.
and people were going on his page and writing mean stuff. So I never once bullied him, but once I saw that, I didn't even see it because they had me blocked, but someone sent it to me.
Yeah.
I made a post and I was like, because I was like, no, that's too far. Like, I don't condone in bullying.
Yeah.
I made a post about it. I was like, I don't condone in this. I don't support it. I just wanted to share what I went through, and that's that.
Well, good. I'm glad that you addressed it because it's not what you put it out there for.
Right.
And I don't want to say that I'm not saying that there's no such thing as online bullying. Obviously, there
Yes.
is. There is, and people get carried away. But I don't think that you sharing your experience, I don't think the intent of creating that like atmosphere to bully
Right.
him. I don't think that was your intention.
Right. And people to this day, like, people will come to me in my markets or vendors and be like, so did he ever apologize? I was like, no, and he's not going
He's not
to.
going to because he's probably more upset now
Yeah.
about it. You know what I mean?
Because I know they had a couple meetings about it. Because
Yeah.
I was like contacting everybody.
Well, I mean, but he could have squashed it.
But honestly, I told my husband, I was like, if he would have apologized the next day, the post would have been deleted.
Yeah.
Like, all he had to do was apologize. And it didn't even have to be a public, like, to me only.
Oh,
And
right. He could have just said, "Hey, I'm sorry that I
right,
upset you by questioning your ethics,
right.
essentially, your, character."
And I didn't even have to tell him the reason, like, but I was just telling him because I was uh, like I'll go now if I don't like if I'm gonna lose the $80, like I'll get up and go now.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that he told me like, no, we'll
We'll
work it
work it out.
out.
Yes. I feel like this is just one of the many struggles that people probably deal with running a local small business. So, like,
Yes.
experiences like this, like you said, you had about 50 people that came forward and were like, "Hey, this isn't like new. I've
Right.
experienced something similar." So it must be super hard to. Those are the things that I'm looking for when I ask people like, what is your experience? Like, yes, it's been good. But there's also a lot of challenges that come with it, and this being one of them. So
Hmm.
thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm sorry that somebody questioned the fact that you took your child to the
But honestly,
hospital.
that was the only. I feel like that's the only challenge we've been through,
Yeah.
and it was a big one. It
Yeah.
happened to be like the biggest
Yeah,
one.
yeah. No, well, good. At least you
Yeah.
haven't gone through many. Okay, we're gonna change the tone really quickly. All
Okay.
right. All right. We're gonna do some quick rapid fire questions. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready? Let's take a sip.
I think so.
I'm almost done. Let's finish it off. And this is the first cocktail that I think I've actually finished on this podcast. I never get through a
Yay,
whole one.
there's
I
a
always
first.
finish it
There's a
after.
first.
I know. Okay. All right. Ready? Sequins or rhinestones?
Sequence.
What's your favorite song?
I have a lot.
Okay. What's your favorite genre of music?
Like, I say slow hip hop, and I say that like I don't know how to explain it. Like, so there's a song you probably don't know, like, or you probably do know, "Drama" by Drake.
Okay. No, but
So
I
stuff
know
like
Drake.
that,
Okay.
or like old Nicki Minaj, like
Your
or
love, you said?
yeah, your
Okay.
love,
Yeah.
like that kind.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah, I was listening on the way I was
Okay. What's your go-to coffee order?
I don't drink coffee.
Ooh,
So I've never had coffee or energy drink in my life.
really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know how I would like function without coffee.
Everyone tell, but I keep trying it because I want to be a coffee girl.
Yeah, yeah. I will tell you, like, let's be honest, when you first start drinking coffee, it fucks with your stomach. Like
Does
it
it?
messes with your stomach, yes.
That's what my husband says. He's like, I don't know why people drink it. It's just to make me poop.
Exactly. Well, and that's part of the reason why some people drink it, but others drink it for the kick that it gives you. Honestly, I don't even know if it does anything to me at this point. I feel like I'm kind of immune to like
You're like, I just drink
the
it.
caffeine, but I love it. Like I gotta have it.
See, and if I
yeah.
drink it, I feel like since I never drink it, I'll probably be everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't like the taste. I keep trying it because like I want to be that girl with the coffee.
She wants to be that girl. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get you a coffee order so that you like it. Okay. You got to start off subtle.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a sneakers or high heels kind of girl?
I say sneakers, but I do like dressing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's rare that I do, but when I do, I like to go all out.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Okay. What is your favorite team?
Like sports team,
Mm-hmm.
I say the Houston Astros.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, you're a softball girl, so
And
makes
my
sense.
husband will get mad, but I have to say Dallas Cowboys.
Well, who does your husband go for?
Dallas Cowboys. Well, I'm saying in football.
Yeah.
Oh, but in baseball, Houston Astros.
Oh, but you said he'll get mad.
Yeah, because you said favorite.
Uh-huh.
He wants me to say Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, so okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what sport, Dallas all day,
Yes.
baby.
He's he says DC for L. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, Dallas Cowboys for life.
Hashtag DC for L. Okay, what is your favorite memory from running your business?
Interacting with customers, like, it's crazy because I don't know what me and my husband have in us, but once we get a customer in, we're like friends with them. Like they come back all the time. We're like talking like we're friends, like we know them.
I love
So
it.
that interaction, I think we actually hung out with one of them like after like 5 times.
I love it.
But I don't know what it is, but yeah, like right away we click with all our customers.
Good.
Yes.
Good. I love it. That's the sign that you're running a successful business.
And my husband always says like it's because like it's our business. So what we create is who we are. So we attract people like us. I'm like, oh, I guess so. But at the same time, it's like a diversity of people.
Yeah.
And it's always different and always like a new connection.
Yeah. No, I love it. Well, sometimes you just are a likable person, and like I think you're a likable person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, what's your favorite restaurant?
Pluckers.
Ooh,
I love
it.
Pluckers.
What's your flavor?
Hot medium.
Hot medium. I love it.
It's because when I went to school in Concordia,
Uh-huh.
Pluckers was new.
Oh, yeah?
And we didn't, honestly, my family came down to see me play one game. And we were waiting at Chili's, and it was like an hour long. We're like, Pluckers, what's that? Let's just go there. There's no wait.
Yeah, yeah.
And ever since then, I'm a Pluckers card member.
Oh, she's like, Pluckers,
Yeah.
sponsor me.
Yes. They always retweet me and like my stuff, so I'm gonna get a sponsor soon. I'm gonna manifest it.
Manifest it, girl. Okay, we're coming up on Easter soon. So,
Yes.
what's your favorite Easter candy? Do you like jelly beans?
I don't. I like chocolate.
Chocolate. Yeah, there you go. What about Peeps?
No.
No.
Come on, no.
Just chocolate. Yeah. I don't like jelly beans, but I like the Starburst ones.
Ooh, actually, the Starburst ones are good.
Those are good.
Yes.
Yeah, but like traditional, don't
No.
don't give me an egg with a
And
random.
honestly, they're cheap, so I get them for people, but I know everyone hates them. Right? A lot of people don't like them.
I'm so picky, and my husband's like, I'm like, I'm gonna go get the Easter candy because we're usually in charge of all the eggs, but I make sure to put Starburst or Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, you're like
jelly
"Let me
beans. I'm
put
like gummy beans. Jelly beans. Yes. All right. What would you say motivates you?
My daughters and honestly my husband too, because everything I do is for them. We always talk about it. I'm like, he's always like, let's go spend a little money. And I'm like, no, because then we won't have money for her when it's like I always think like I always put myself last.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I think that's just the mom in me.
Yeah, it
But
is.
you're like, yeah, me too. But yeah, I would say them. They motivate me to keep going, do better. And my daughters are expensive.
Yeah.
So I have to keep getting money.
Make money.
Yeah.
Make money, babe. All right, we're going to wrap this up with the most important question.
Yes.
What is your favorite kind of taco?
I like bean and cheese and carne guisada.
Ooh, do you put cheese on your carne
I
guisada?
do.
Yeah, I'm like, who does it without carne guisada?
Yes. Where do you like getting them from?
So it depends. I love a Bill Miller taco.
I was gonna say people never talk about Bill Miller tacos, but I love Bill Miller tacos.
I love Bill Miller tacos, especially
too.
like so I'll get a bean and cheese with bacon, and then their salsa's perfect because it's not too
Mhm.
spicy for me. And I also love their potatoes because like if you want to talk
They're
about
like
potatoes,
mashed, but they're
like
good.
yes,
Yeah.
they're like mashed like a hash kind of, and then I do
Mhm.
a potato with bacon taco, also with hot sauce.
Yes.
So I do love a
I
breakfast
had
taco
their
from there.
tacos this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and if it's not Bill Miller, then usually we'll get like Mama Margie's, which is what I kind of like. It's nostalgic for me because that's all we would eat in high school.
It's near
Um,
here, right?
It's near here. There's one near here,
Yeah.
but we were like OG on the south side, the original Mama Margie's.
Oh, so y'all were always there.
We were always there. That was like literally our hangout
You're
spot.
tired of it.
Yeah, so my husband loves Mama Margie's, and I'm like, you know what's funny is he does a bean and cheese taco, and he squirts lime on it, and he won't eat it otherwise unless he has lime.
I never tried that.
I don't know why. He doesn't like
Have you tried
beans.
it?
Yeah, it's good.
I'm gonna try it.
It's good. And he's like, do you have limes? And if they say no, he's like, damn.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's like, what am I going to do? Because by the time you're at the window. Anyway.
What am I going to do?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. He's like, do we have limes at home? I'm like, probably.
He's like, are you ready to go to the next restaurant?
Yeah. I'm like, Bill Miller's is across the street, babe. We can go right there.
Yeah, I love Bill. My daughters love it too.
Yeah.
We always go there.
I love it. Yeah, no, don't sleep on Bill Miller tacos.
No,
even their
good.
brisket taco is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even their lunch. Sponsor us.
Sponsor us. Shout out to Bill Miller. You're my bro. No, I love that. I love that you like their tacos as well. But oh my gosh, so it's funny because, like I said, we didn't know each other at all, and I feel like I know so much about you.
I know. I was nervous. I was like, I don't know what she's gonna ask me.
Yeah, no, I feel.
But it's been fun.
Good. I'm glad. Yes. Everybody's nervous when they first come on, but I'm like, literally, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just talking.
Yeah. No, well, thank you so much, Natalia. Get it right, guys. Where can people find you, actually?
My Instagram is at Kaliana's Boutique, and our website is connected to our Instagram, and we are at